All right, I am here with Jonny Kalambay, and today we're going to talk about the Adult Centered Education Conference 2024, May 16th and 17th in hopefully sunny Coquitlam. So, Jonny, thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right. So, first thing, maybe Jonny, you can just tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Of course. So my name is Johnny. My background's a little bit all over the place. Um, I guess to go even farther back than my professional background, it's kind of nice going to this conference because I grew up in School District 43. I
Oh,
went to
wow.
school like Port Moody Secondary, Moody Middle, Moody Elementary.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so it's kind of nice to come back after so
Right.
many years. Um, But after uh, growing up here, I went to study business management and then eventually learned to program. So I spent most of my professional career in software engineering, but one kind of common thread is that I've always been interested in language learning. My first language is French, and then I studied Spanish and Japanese throughout my 20s and really enjoyed it. And eventually, I kind of wanted to put that passion together with my software engineering background, and I kind of quit my job to set out to build the next Duolingo, basically. And
Right.
I quickly realized that I I don't have the expertise for quite that. To build a good language educational experience requires expertise in that. So I could do one of two things. I could go and get that pedagogical expertise, whether that means a
Mm.
teaching degree or something like that, or work with someone that does, or the path that I did choose, which is to just focus on what I'm good at, which is
Mm.
building technology that can support educators. You might have heard me use this analogy before, but I tell people that I decided to make kitchen tools instead of becoming a chef.
Mm.
So that's kind of what I'm doing right now with Roshi. I'm building technology tools for educators so that they can then create language learning experiences that can take students from point A to point B.
Right. Excellent. That's great. And I know, Jonny, I've seen you before at some other conferences. I know I saw you at ATESL in Calgary in October, and you mentioned your path to developing, like you said, those tools for language educators and sharing your passion. Um, Maybe you can just tell the audience a little bit about Roshi without giving too much away, because
Of course.
that will be a little bit more for the workshop. But what
Yeah,
is Roshi, and maybe you can just give us sort of the brass tacks of what exactly it is.
absolutely. So Roshi is a tool that I've been working on that helps teachers create lesson material. Essentially, you can take online content like a YouTube video, an article, and then turn it into a structured lesson. Um, and it's been used by a lot of teachers, link teachers, different sorts of English teachers in adult education. And I in the workshop, I do want to touch on that, but I also want to kind of focus on um, something a little bit different that I've been trying recently, which is using AI tools, including Roshi and others,
Mhm.
to take existing material and repurpose it. Because I know that a lot of teachers are getting bombarded with a bunch of tools, many of which are great,
Mhm.
to be clear, um, that use AI to create new material, creates these dialogue, create these lessons. But teachers are often sitting on treasure troves of already great lesson material,
Right.
but they're limited by the formatting. Maybe it's
Mhm.
an old PDF, maybe it's an old textbook, maybe it's and so a lot of these AI tools, there is capability just as of recently of taking content and repurposing it. And that's kind of what I want to touch on as well. And
Mhm.
I've built features into Roshi to allow for that, but I also want to I'll show off some other tools that will allow you to do that. So for example, if you have an old PDF that you want to turn into a Google worksheet, a
Mhm.
Google form, if you have an old, say, I don't know, some old documents that you want to turn into something more interactive. There's
Mhm.
tools available to do that. So that's kind of what I want to show off. not just using AI to create new material,
No.
although that is very useful, but also using AI to repurpose and adapt existing material, because a lot of teachers want to adapt and reuse the material that they already have.
Right, right. Oh, I'm excited hearing that. I know the perception out there with AI, like you said, is just to create new materials, but I think that's an added dimension to have the repurposing format, and I know attendees will really benefit from that. I know there's quite a few educators in our organization that have been asking about that. How do I take something that may be older but great, and how do I use that again with some more interactive features, right? So
Absolutely.
I think attendees will love that.
Oh, that's
So
great to hear. I'm
yeah,
definitely looking forward to presenting it.
excellent. So if you for all of our attendees at this year's conference, Jonny will be presenting on the Thursday of the conference in concurrent session at the Executive Plaza in Coquitlam, which is our annual venue, great venue. And just want to thank you again, Jonny, for joining me this afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you at the conference in May.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.